Hey guys, welcome to this week's episode of Tank Wars. It's time to catch you guys up. In the nanoweight division, Cam's 29 gallon moved to the next round for Atlanta, and Tommy's 30 gallon moved to the next round for Miami. So when we head back to the nano division a few weeks from now, Miami will finally face off against Atlanta as Cam and Tommy go head to head in the nano division. In the middleweight division, Richard's 72 gallon for Miami dominated and moved on to the next round. And last week, in the Atlanta arena, Ryan's 65 gallon faced off against Dennis's 90 gallon in the middleweight division. And moving on to the next round in Atlanta's middleweight division is Dennis with 90% of the total vote, which means the final battle of the middleweight division, which will take place a few weeks from now, will feature Dennis's 90 gallon against Richard's 72 gallon. It's almost time for Miami to go head to head against Atlanta, and I can't wait. In this episode of Tank Wars, we move up in weight class again, and the tank volume and water level rises. We find out if Tank Wars is like boxing, and if the heavyweight division is king. In this episode of Tank Wars, not only are both tanks 120 gallons, but this may be the most evenly matched Tank Wars episode yet. But that's not up to me, and you'll get your chance to vote. In this episode of Tank Wars, Seth, also known as Seth the Wine Guy on Atlanta Reef Club, puts his 120 gallon up against Alex's 120 gallon. Now, out of all the tanks we've had on Tank Wars thus far, Alex's may be the most unique because each one of you, any of us, can go and visit Alex's tank anytime we want. Why is that? Because Alex's personal tank is in his winery. What do I mean? Well, Alex owns a winery called Elegant Growlers, located on 890 Atlanta Street in Roswell, Georgia. And the tank is displayed there. So, go see it for yourself. I know what you're saying. Thomas, Tank Wars is a hobbyist show. And Tank Wars is a hobbyist show. Alex installed and maintains this tank itself. So this is his pride and joy. Well guys, it's time to look under the hood for both tanks. And it's time for me to bring out my high-tech footage because these tanks are serious. And just so we're clear, in Tank Wars, there's no such thing as overkill. Initiate Seth's equipment tour. Let there be light with two 400 watt metal halides with 20K radium and 14K Ushio bulbs, two Kessel 150 wide deep ocean blues, one Kessel 360 wide tuna blue, and just to make sure there are no dark alleys in Septopia, there are 3 Aqua Illumination Soul Blues. For flow, he is using 4 Ecotech MP40s. He has 4-stage RDI with a booster pump to boost his PSI. This is an Emperor Aquatic 80 watt UV sterilizer. This bad boy can hold 5 gallons of water and is capable of sterilizing a 600 gallon tank. This is his freshwater container and his saltwater container below. The sump is a 120 gallon tank with a few different frag sections. One is for soft corals, which has slower flow, and the other section is for SPS, for the overgrown corals in his tank that he's forced to cut. Now that seems like a good problem to have. We're not even close to being done with the big boy toys. Seth has an MRC Pro 2 protein skimmer, which can skim a 700 gallon tank. It has a Pro 3 neck and cup, which has washdown. What do I mean by washdown? Check this out. He hits a button on his phone and the skimmer begins to flush the system, which translates into an instant water change. While that is happening, the new water is flowing back into the sump. I'm so jealous, I may have to hit the dislike button. The calcium reactor is an MRC CR6, which can easily handle a 700 gallon tank. Alex's equipment tour.
Diagnostic complete.
Alex is running 2 second-generation radiums. For his flow, he employs 2 MP40s. He has a GHL doser, which gives his tank a taste of calcium, magnesium, and KH. He uses filter bags and mangroves to help control nitrates. This is a Reef Octopus 250 protein skimmer. And don't forget the Aqua Ultraviolet UV sterilizer. Here's his RODI for topping off the tank. And get this, for safety, he has a timer for the water line. Just in case the shutoff valve goes bad, this top-off system only allows the tank to be fed water for 40 minutes a day. Based on his flow rate, that equals 2 gallons of water a day. Alex is leaving nothing to chance. As you can see, Alex and Seth take their equipment seriously. Now, I know you guys like to hear me talk, but it's time for some quiet time so we can look at both of these 120-gallon tanks individually. But let's leave it to chance to see who goes first. Have a quarter here, and heads will be Alex, and tails will be Seth. Let's flip. Alright, heads it is. If you guys can't see it, you just have to take my word for it. Alex, looks like you're up. Alright guys, it's time for you to vote. Will it be Alex's 120 gallon or Seth's 120 gallon? To vote, go to tankwars.net, click on Season 1, and then go to Episode 5, which is Alex versus Seth. Then you click on the Vote Now button at the top of the page, and then you'll vote. Now, you won't be able to see the results. You'll have to come back next week, and at the beginning of next episode, I'll announce the winner. Even though the voting is over for the previous episodes, be sure to go to my Tank Wars playlist, which will be titled Tank Wars Season 1, where you can find every episode for Tank Wars Season 1. Or you can go to Tank Wars Special Episodes and look at all the special episodes for Tank Wars. Well guys, thank you for sharing the videos and especially for voting. Without the voting, Tank Wars is nothing. So I really appreciate you guys. And if you're new to my channel, consider subscribing because this is the ultimate hobby. Ow! It hit me in the head.